Okay, let's dive right into it. Large language models, I mean, they're incredibly powerful tools, right? But for them to really interact with the world, to, get real-time data, use services, take actions, they need a way to connect. Outside their training data, how do these intelligent agents actually bridge that gap effectively?
Yeah, that's the critical challenge. Historically, and while it's still foundational, the standard way different software talks is through APIs, application programming interfaces.
APIs, right? They're kind of the established language for systems talking to each other.
Exactly, they're everywhere.
But our sources are pointing to something newer, an open standard, actually, that popped up late last year, seems specifically designed for AI agents, and it's apparently already making waves.
Precisely, that's the Model Context Protocol, or MCP.
MCP. Okay.
So while APIs give you a general way for systems to chat, MCP is really trying to standardize how AI agents get access to external capabilities and context.
Yeah.
It's purpose-built, you see, for what an agent needs.
Okay, let's try and unpack this difference then. We've got sources here laying out how both work and, maybe more importantly, how they fit together. So our mission for this deep dive is to get our heads around APIs versus MCP, specifically for AI agent interaction, and figure out what this evolution really means.
What's kind of fascinating here is thinking about MCP as a sort of universal connector, but just for AI. You could almost picture it like a standard port, maybe like USB-C for AI agents.
USDC. Huh. That's an interesting analogy. How so?
Well, think about it. With USB-C, right, you plug in all sorts of different devices, monitors, storage, whatever, from different companies, and they just work because they follow the same standard. An MCP host, like your AI application, connects to these external MCP servers. And these servers expose what they can do using this standardized MCP protocol.
So the MCP server basically tells the AI agent, here's what I can do, or here's the info I can give you.
Exactly. And, crucially, in a standard way. MCP is designed around an agent needing, well, two main things: relevant context like data, and the ability to use tools to do stuff.
Yeah.
It gives a uniform interface for the agent to get things like documents, database info, or even, run tasks like searching the web or sending an email.
So it's not just about fetching information, it's about enabling the agent to act out there in the digital world.
Right. And MCP servers offer these capabilities as primitives. The sources mention three core types. There are tools, which are specific actions the agent can trigger, like find a location, add something to a shopping list. Then resources, which are more like read-only data the server provides on demand, fetching a file's content, getting a database schema. And finally, prompt templates. These are like preset structures or examples that help the agent ask questions correctly or generate specific outputs.
And the big win for the agent here is,
The really significant advantage is dynamic discovery. An AI agent can just ask an MCP server at runtime, hey, what can you do? It gets back this machine-readable catalog of all the tools, resources, and templates available, which means the agent doesn't need to be hard-coded for every single possible tool upfront. It can find and use new ones dynamically.
wow, okay. That adaptability sounds huge, especially for complex multi-step tasks. So that's MCP. How do APIs really differ then, beyond just being general purpose?
Well, APIs, like your standard RESTful APIs over HTTP, they define how one system asks for info or services from another. You use them when your app needs some function it doesn't have built in, maybe calling a weather service API or a payment gateway. They give you that vital abstraction layer. So you don't need to care about the server's internal workings, just its communication rules.
And AI models themselves often communicate using APIs, right? Sending prompts, getting back completions, usually as structured data like JSON.
Correct. So look, both APIs and MCP use that client-server model, both provide abstraction. But the key thing with MCP is that it's standardized and has that built-in dynamic discovery specifically for AI agents. With traditional APIs, each one is its own little world, different endpoints, data formats, authentication. An AI agent usually needs a custom bit of code, an adapter, for every single API it wants to talk to.
Which sounds like a massive headache if you want agents using lots of different tools from all over the place.
It can be, yeah. MCP aims for that single consistent interface. But, and this is where it gets really interesting and shows they're not really competitors, many MCP servers actually work by wrapping existing APIs.
Ah, okay. So MCP can kind of sit on top of that established API layer, like a
Yeah.
translator.
Precisely. An MCP server can take that standard MCP request from the AI agent and translate it into whatever the specific underlying API needs. This lets AI agents tap into that huge existing ecosystem of services and data already out there via APIs, but they do it through this one consistent AI-friendly MCP interface. They're complementary layers, really, in this evolving AI stack.
Okay, so let's pull this together. What does this all mean? We've got APIs, the sort of long-standing general foundation for system communication. Still essential.
Right, and now MCP is emerging as this purpose-built layer just for AI agents. It standardizes how they find and use external capabilities, often by, as we said, putting a nice wrapper around those existing APIs. This layered approach makes integrating AI much more scalable, much more adaptable.
It feels like it could fundamentally change how easily agents access and use the explosion of tools and data online. It could unlock completely new levels of AI capability, maybe stuff we haven't even thought of yet.
Exactly. Just think about the potential impact. If access is streamlined like this, what kind of complex, sophisticated tasks could AI agents start handling autonomously down the line?
So what stands out to you from this deep dive into APIs and MCP? We'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts, maybe any questions you have. And hey, if you found this helpful, let us know. Please do follow or subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into these kinds of fascinating topics.